know the facts, the real talk. I'm the host, Gladys, the unadulterated talk host. I have a special guest today. Go by Dirty, aka Switchblade. Okay? But she's going to be telling you guys some special things about her life, and we're going to get deep into the situation. So, what was it like growing up in your childhood?
Growing up in my childhood, in the beginning, it was beautiful. Until we met, my mama met this man. It was only 4 of us then. And, I mean, it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Okay, she fell in love with him. And we moved. And she ended up having some more kids of his.
Okay.
And I mean, our childhood was happy, but then it was sad. Because sometimes, I mean, I know I'm the black sheep, duh. And I didn't feel loved.
Okay.
And I always felt like the outcast. But I know that my mother loved me and my father loved me and my family loved me, but you couldn't tell me that.
Right.
Because I didn't feel it and it wasn't shown. Okay. My mom had 11 children. My older sister passed, and I'm next to the oldest. And we have our problems. Mm-hmm. I mean, we some cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, boo. And we just like anybody else. All y'all got problems. Somebody with problems in y'all family. Right. All y'all crazy somewhere. But when it all comes down to it, when we come together, we come together as family.
Right.
And don't mess with my family, because we will come after you.
So, what was it like having kids? Like, when you first got pregnant, like, was it hard or was it difficult? Was it stressful?
Well, I was raped. And I was working at a club with my grandmother, my grandfather, Mildred Bernard, and Ernest Bernard, and Cheeks. And I was raped. I can't say the name, but they are powerful people out there. And I was always beaten, and I thought that was the way it should be. And I was able to have my son after I was poisoned and everything, and was taken to act like they were my father for me to have abortions, and the second time I like to die. And when I got pregnant with my son, Prophet William David Franklin, I was glad because we got away from where we lived and off the net on Blood Road. And that was the only way I was able to protect him. And I had to stay in the hospital after I was 3 months old until I had him. And my Aunt Marie, Gladys Marie, and my Aunt Michael was the ones that took me out there and would come and see about me. And it was hard. It was hard. It took a toll on me. I was very depressed. I went through depression, and it's not something a woman would want to go through. It is horrible. It will kill you.
Yes.
And medications were helping. But I fell into other relationships that was the same, because I felt like if you touch me, that was love.
Right.
But anybody else, I can beat them, cut them, whatever. I didn't care. But when it came to my husband, my man, or whatever, it was it was different because I could have hurt him, but I couldn't because of the love.
What was it like being raped?
Horrible, because I was young and working in a club trying to help my mom with the kids, and I was going outside as regularly and empty the buckets, you know, with the cans and the bottles. You have to get them out of there. And they grabbed me, and I was taken into their little thing, and I mean, I was hollering and screaming, and I know people that knew that it was going on because they were out there and they heard me. And after it happened, I just went on in there and back in and started working like nothing, you know, happened. Mm-hmm. And I didn't tell anyone. The only person who knew was Darlene, my best friend. And Lord, it was horrible, but I fell in love with that person. And because I thought he loved me, that's why he, you know, did it.
Yeah.
And no, that wasn't the reason.
Right.
Yeah, because I was beat all the time by him. Yeah, I get beat up and then go inside and start working. Yeah.
So what was the abuse like? Was it physical, mental?
Both.
How did you get through it?
God. And I had someone that I can, you know, you always need somebody that you can talk to, that you know you can trust, and it's not going to go anywhere. And it took me a long time when I finally told my son what happened. Well, it was years. And it was, but I forgave him.
Right. So did it like affect your self-esteem? Did it like affect how you treated other people, or how people looked at you? Like,
you know what? I didn't even think about that part. But my self-esteem was low, and I was going to modeling school. And after something happened, you know, with my mom, I stopped because I always took care of my sisters and brothers. I could cook. We would cook. I could cook on a heater and all that. And my mom worked 3 jobs. My mama worked 3 jobs.
So you were cooking on a heater? Like, you didn't have a stove then?
We had a propane, but the propane stove, the propane that we would have to get out there in the country, the stove was broke, and we did what we had to do. And I taught myself to cook. And I did for my brothers, and I did for them. And it was just so much you had to go through. And my life is really just getting right, really, about 5-6 years ago. But it's a long way.
What was it like growing up with brothers? You know, they kind of tough.
I was a tough one. I led the brothers, baby. I was always with the boys. Like, oh, boo. And, baby, they called us the Blue Street Kids. And I don't care what they got in, whatever. I was with my brothers. And had others that my mom always took in kids. And had others, and, baby, that was it. I took care of them. When we didn't have no cigarettes, we smoked alfalfa hay.
Alfalfa?
Yes, Lord.
So, what was it like living in Cheeks?
Better than living in the city. In the country, it's much better living in the country than the city. Because I remember we could leave the doors open, and Terry and them would Well, he had the airplane. He would turn it off and come down. And one day it didn't. It just crashed. But they took care of us. They watched out for us and everything. Yes. And we would go back there in the canal, and matter of fact, I was pregnant then. And the doctor said you need to exercise in some water. That was the only water we had around there, the canal.
Right.
So, and we would do that every day. And then, you know, get the water hose, because all of us couldn't get in the bathroom. My stepdaddy, he was up in there, and half the time we'll beat him to the bathroom, and he'd have to take the water hose. Baby, we was gone. We was gone to a rodeo or open.
Yeah.
And I know it was hard on her. So I had to understand also what happened with her in her childhood, you know?
Right.
And
okay.
Just...
Yeah. What's the difference between now and then? Are you more peaceful now? You know, some things I know you can't forgive and you can't forget, but
you have to forgive.
Yeah.
It's a must. You'll never forget. And that's how you're taught.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You learn from your mistakes.
Right.
Okay? And I'm peaceful now, because I gotta say what I gotta say. I'm gonna say it. I don't care who don't like it and who don't.
Right.
Woo woo. But that, you know, that's it. Now I'm a lot closer to my family. We are all a lot closer. We may not seem to be together all the time, but when we come together, that's great. And sometimes it's good not to be together around and visit all the time, because that makes it even better when you do get together. And I'm a person like, you know, leave my family alone, because I don't care how long we get. No, if we can be the worst ones out there, but when something's going on, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there to back each other no matter what. So,
what was it like going to school around your age? Like back then, like what was the schools like? The education?
Oh, they were good. I was a good student, but when the teacher make me mad, I just wrote down all wrong answers. And she come to my mom's house and said, well, she shouldn't have been ugly. So that's what I would do. And my first fight was in school, I think, with a friend of mine, Miss West. And the teacher called me a tiger because I didn't bother nobody. I never hung around girls. It was always older people and men. I learned a lot from that. And shoot, she had to fight me twice that day. Shoot. But I was expelled from school for a whole year, but I didn't care. And we go home and never went to school on a Monday because we had a roping and had to ride our horses.
Wow.
Yeah. And my stepfather, they called him Al because Cartwright, but he's more like a father because he raised me from a child. Mm-hmm. I didn't know my daddy like that. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did roll the horses and enjoyed ourselves and, you know, got away. Of course, he was always picking and we had to fight for him. Right. But those were the good old days.
So what was your relationships like with your siblings? Because I know it's like, well, it was like 11. But now, how many?
It's 3 girls and 3 boys. I think the relationship has come a long way. It's beautiful. You live and you learn. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
You know, and we are a spiritual family, very godly. And I think it's beautiful. We could say things to each other because none of us bites our tongues, and that's that. And I mean, we can talk about anything because I'm open to any and everything. I can talk about it all. From the Rudy to the Tootie to the Ootie. So that's that.
Yes. Okay. So, what is like? Why is it hard for the family to get together now and have like family reunions and stuff like that?
I think because a lot of people wants to be over this and over that when some of them don't know. You know, if you're not, I don't care how long you've been married to them. That don't mean you know everything.
Right.
Okay. So you have to get with that family's people and find out, because I find out a lot lately from my mom that I didn't know. Oh girl, that's something else. I thought I was. And I just think they should come together. But some think, you know, that's in every family. Some think that they're better than others when they're not.
Right.
Well, because I give it all to God. God can show you better than I can show you.
Right.
So that's just that. Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for today. We want to thank our guest today. So I have a gift for her. And I know you will love it because, you know, it's for your face.
Is it a sex toy?
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
You can show the camera if you want. But yes, that's your gift for today.
I need
my
sex,
appreciation.
not makeup.
So that's all we have for
Thank you,
today.
darling.
Subscribe, like, leave your comments, and leave your opinions, and share, please. And thank you for watching The Real Talk Show.
Bye, y'all. Dirty.